Good evening, Evergleam lovers around the country and all the ships at sea. My name is Tim Kaczynski. I'm from Manitowoc Public Library. I'm briefly going to be your host tonight. I'm going to turn things over in short order to Barb and Jordan, and they will guide your tour of these collectors from around, and you'll get to know all of them. Just a couple quick announcements because that's what I do. This coming Saturday about programs at the library. We have story time with Santa and flute cake, a festive celebration of music with flute cocktails. So we have the Santa event, which isn't a Santa Lapset event. It is a Santa story time. So you get to interact with Santa, all ages, photo ops with Santa, just not on the lap. And there's a letter writing station, so it goes directly to the big guy himself, so he knows exactly what you want for the holiday season. That's upstairs in new services in the Volkansky room. Downstairs is an hour-long performance by Flute Cocktail, Manitowoc's premier flute choir. And they will be doing seasonal favorites like Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, at all. So that is enough for me. Now, I'm going to let everyone introduce themselves. I'm going to switch over to taking myself out of the picture. You'll still be able to hear me also. I wanted to let you know, if you have comments or questions throughout all of this, just type them into your comments bar on either Facebook or YouTube, and I will relay them to our lovely guests this evening. So let me take myself out. And let me switch over to a different mode.
Hi.
Barb and Jordan, why don't you introduce yourself to the Evergleam loving public?
Hello, everyone. I'm Barb Bundy-Jost, president of Manitowoc Aluminum Kitsch-Mas Inc, better known as Mackie. And
I'm Jordan. I'm Jordan Kabat. I'm the vice president of Mackie, and we work together with a small group of people to put on Evergleams on 8th every year in downtown Manitowoc. And part of that display is what you see behind us.
10 years, started in 2015, it's 2025, 10 years. Traditional gift is aluminum. Seems appropriate, doesn't it?
Very appropriate.
All right, we're thrilled to get this party started. So we'll introduce some more people.
Right. So this year in years past, we've done this show before. We've done a virtual show since 2020. And the last maybe 4 years or so, we've had guests come on our show, people who worked at Aluminum Specialty, people who were there firsthand and had stories to tell about making these trees here in Manitowoc at the Aluminum Specialty Company. And this year we thought we would switch things up a little bit and try something new for our 10-year anniversary, since we've done that a number of times now. So this year we've invited on a few different people, some collectors from across the country, and we're going to go and visit them in their homes, see some of their trees, hear some of their stories, and get a different perspective on aluminum trees and aluminum tree collecting that we don't normally get to experience through Evergleams on 8th. So let's, without further ado, let's dive in. So who do we have first?
Should we go with Jerry since he's on top?
Jerry's on top. Let's go with Jerry.
Hi, all.
Go.
Hi, Jerry.
How's everybody?
We're great.
Glad
Tell
to be
someone
here.
about yourself. Because
Go
you're
ahead.
the second Jerry walk.
Yes, my fortune to be not junior, but same name.
Okay.
Ed was in this from the start, so it was a big part of his life and career, and I enjoy help to carry on the tradition here and tell the story.
Okay. Jerry's dad was president of the toy division at Aluminum Specialty.
He head of sales of the toy and decoration
Sales.
division. Is that what he was, Jerry?
When it started, he was a salesman out in Ohio, and he moved. We lived there till 64, 60 to 64. Then in 65, 66, they moved him to Chicago, and he worked out of their showroom at the Merchandise Mart.
Okay.
And then we moved back to Manitowoc over the Christmas break of 66, 67. Thing to do, moving during Christmas holiday. And he became the sales manager for the toy and decoration division. His specialty was basically 3 different divisions. The biggest, of course, was the housewares, cookware, bakeware. Toys and decorations was an afterthought. Got it started in the 60s with the aluminum Christmas tree and grew from there. And they also had their contract division. And one of the big things they had, of course, was contracts with the military, making shells and casings for the military on a separate product line. So he was there from the start, and I've got some products here to show as we move on with the show that kind of tells the story.
Great.
Very good.
Right.
Well, let's introduce our next guests then. Looks like we have Stephanie and Colton next in our queue.
There
Hey
they
guys, how are you
Hello.
tonight?
We're good. How are you guys?
We're
Good.
great. Good to see you.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. How's
I'm
this
a
all
teacher
started?
in Manitowoc. Sorry for cutting you off, Barb.
No.
I'm a teacher in Manitowoc and just a local collector. I got into the trees just by going to the programs at the library. I actually used to take my oldest niece with me, and then it's my nephew, Colton, and I got him involved too.
How old was Colton when you got him involved?
How old were you, Colton?
I was 8 and I got my first tree when I was 10 years old.
Colton, you're going to have to lean into the microphone. I can barely hear you.
He's a quiet guy. Be loud.
When I first started with aluminum Christmas trees, I was 8 years old, and then I was 10 when I got my first Evergleam.
Wow. 10.
And how many trees do you have now, Colton?
I'm at 5 trees.
Very nice.
And you're 14.
Correct.
And you're learning a lot of things on how to take care of those trees. Isn't that right?
Yes.
He wants to grow up and be like you.
The next Dr. Evergleam.
Yes.
There's
Why not?
room. There's room in the clinic. We need more hands. Honestly,
He does good work, you guys. He does good work.
Yes, he does. You're a nurse practitioner mode right now. Okay. All right.
good. Yeah, let's go on to our next guest. We'll introduce our next duo here, Lenka and Matt.
Hi guys.
Hello.
How are
Well,
you two?
Good. How are you?
Well,
Good.
It's very nice to see you. The last time we saw you guys was summer at our summer event, so it's good to see you in winter.
and you
Yes,
likewise.
and the event was so much fun. Thank you for organizing it.
Well,
Thank you for coming.
You always come in
Absolutely.
and then pitch right in and help. We're grateful. That's
So here
nice.
we are. Let us tell a few words. We're from Ohio. Well, Matt was born here. I was born in former Czechoslovakia in Europe. We live here in Ohio now. We bicker 24/7. That's our main staple. We love to travel, and currently we have 4 aluminum trees that we would love to show you today.
I can't wait.
Very exciting.
Very fun. All right. Well,
So what was it? I mean, you guys are external to Manitowoc and not, directly interfacing with Evergleams on 8th every year. What was it that got you guys interested in aluminum trees? Like what was it that drew you to them initially? And we can get in more in depth in that story later, but maybe
Sure.
just initially, like what was it that was there a tree that you saw, or what was it about them?
Actually, when I was in my, I would say mid-20s, I really started getting into history in the mid-century era.
Mm.
So it kind of went hand in hand. In 2014, I found out about a 1950s museum in Illinois. It's in a town called Park Forest.
Okay.
And on their website, they had an aluminum tree. So I made the decision to go and visit the museum during Christmas time so I would see the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I happened to be at a Wheaton overnight market. It's kind of like a flea market. and they bring a lot of antiques and vintage items in. And there was a real aluminum tree there. So I believe that was the first one I saw in person. And so I was very excited to go to the museum to see a silver tree again. Well, I got there, come to find out they have a green aluminum tree. It was actually a Si Sincere brand, the singing, dancing tree, they call it. And when I saw that, I knew I wanted a silver tree and that I wanted a green tree as well. And so ever since then, I was hooked. Unfortunately, a year later, I had to leave Chicago. I purchased a home in Indiana. And after I left, then I found out about your guys' event. Of course, I live 8 hours away now. So when you announced the summer event, we knew that we just had to come. Yeah.
Good.
It helps. I mean, today we have rain, maybe some sleet.
Oh yeah,
Some
definitely.
freezing.
It's an ugly day out there today in Manitowoc, and I was grateful that I didn't have to lead any walking tours today.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And it's nice you're all safe in the warmth of your own home,
Yes,
So-
for certain.
for sure. Well, all right.
so I want to go back to Jerry. Actually, Jerry, I saw you flash us a photograph, or you changed the view of your camera, and we saw a green tree. Lenka was just talking to us about a green tree. There we've got a green tree.
Well,
Can you talk to us about that tree a little bit, Jerry? Because I know that's an aluminum specialty product.
yes, this is one of the lesser known trees. I'll start with this. And this is the one, if you two remember, I found at a bargain price of $20. This is one of the polyethylene evergreen trees that they started to include in their assortment, about 64, 65. I remember having one of these in our house in Libertyville, Illinois in 65. And this I found at a Habitat for Humanity Restore location in Green Bay. And we had this in the Shuey building last year on display. So now going back to the aluminum, this is interesting. I'm going to talk about our little 2-footers now.
Oh no!
Lenka, here
Get
we
out
go.
of my way.
Darling.
That is
You see
beautiful.
what color that is, right?
That is a green.
Yes.
Wow.
And let me move over. Of course, I'm being in Green Bay. What would you like to see
Love
next
that.
besides
Green and gold.
green and gold, right? But okay. Last little drum roll here. I'll save the best for the last.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
I'm screaming inside.
You know what color that is, right?
Pink.
Pink.
It's beautiful.
It's flamingo pink.
It is
according
flamingo pink.
according to the sales literature.
My brothers had these. They've been in the family for years. And I realized when he brought these up to me yesterday, let me show you the boxes. This tells a story, but these are the 3 boxes that they come in. You can see just how small they are.
Mm-hmm.
They are really in good shape.
Well, what's interesting, they've got the mailing labels on them yet. And you can't see this, but it's to our address in Akron, Ohio, where we lived for a year.
That's very cool.
We lived there for a year while my folks were building a house in nearby Medina. So I know it was 1960. And so that dates it. And
Yeah, it
there it
does.
is,
Old
49.
enough for
12.
Medicare, Jerry.
I'm sorry?
They said they're old enough for Medicare.
That's just about, exactly. So, and a part of the collection are 2 other items here that a little bit lesser known, perhaps, but here they are in their original boxes. We always call them wreaths, but they were tabletop window decorations, centerpieces, whatever you wanted to use them for. So.
Those are beautiful.
So it looks like you have the deluxe size there in the red and green and silver coloration. And then is that the medium size in the green and gold?
It
looks like it's just a little bit smaller, but it might be the angle.
well, the bigger one has got green and silver.
Yep.
The smaller one, yeah, it's
Oh, that's the smallest size.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
smallest.
Yes, so that's the smallest size, and then I think the other one you have is the medium size,
Right.
and then there's a size that's even bigger than that.
Right.
I mean, these have all the packing inside and everything yet, so it's quite
Very
great.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they also made a green and gold one.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful. Now, those were also in the family? The wall decorations? Jerry? Okay, we lost her.
Jerry, I think we may have lost you. Maybe you bumped your mute. Maybe you muted your microphone.
He did.
Yeah, I did. Sorry about
Oh, there we go.
All right, you're back.
You're back.
You're back. It doesn't matter. Now that you're back, it doesn't matter. Problem solved.
I thought it was interesting that he had these 3 2-footers sent to him in 1960. And, he lived in Akron, and that was, Jordan, you and I have talked about how many sales were made through the tire companies, oddly, the Firestones and Goodyear and Good stores, which they were always looking for something new and exciting to bring into stores because they had stores in the front. You think about that store in the 1100 block of Washington Street, Manitowoc. It used to be a Firestone, and they had retail up in front, appliances, stereo, TVs. And Christmas, they brought in all kinds of things. Toys for kids, and try to keep people coming into the store. And these trees were a perfect addition, especially, remember the old expression, you build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door? Well, that kind of sums up what the specialty did. They didn't invent the aluminum tree, but they figured out how to make it saleable and affordable for the masses.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it. And I thought, well, it's interesting that he had these 2-foot trees to take and use as samples as he traveled Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. But they make perfect sense. You go into a buyer or a store to show them your wares. It would take you how long, relatively speaking, to open, to put together a 6 or 7-foot trees. But these 2-footers, you got the idea, and they were easy to carry and put together in a matter of minutes.
Well,
Great. And you've got a nice spectrum of the colors that were available at that time. Great examples of what the product looks like on a small scale.
Yeah, exactly.
And show off very quickly. Very cool.
They are beautiful. And it's interesting to note that green tree, the evergreen tree, you just picked that up last year.
Just last year, yes.
Yeah, those are available. They're cleverly hidden all over the place, and once in a while they rear their heads in thrift stores or estate sales.
Yeah, and a rare style
that is very rare
that we didn't even really know existed until that year. So.
It was called the Northern Pine. I was looking at the catalog sheet here earlier, and whatever year that was, it doesn't even list this tree. So it came later in the production run, apparently.
Wow.
I found a 4-foot Norfolk pine like that the same year that you found that one. So it's very cool that they both cropped up in the same year. But really, really cool. Well, should we jump to another household and maybe take a look?
Can I jump in just for a second?
Of course.
Two things. Jerry, how much did you say that the Evergreen set you back again?
I'll show you the price sticker.
$20.
$20 American dollars. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's wild. And also, I just want to throw in, we have people watching from around the country, just so you know, from Illinois, from North Carolina, from someone who identified where they were as Ding Dong, Texas. Not sure if Ding Dong is an actual place, but I kind of want to believe it is.
It may very well be.
And then also locally at Green Bay, and someone at the top signed in with a good morning, whose name was Rajesh. So I don't know where they're watching from, but I'm intrigued. I asked. There's someone watching from Utah. Someone wants the tree for $20. They wish they could find one. But as you said,
we all feel that way.
Let's move on to who would like to go next, Stephanie and Colton, or Leica and Matt?
We can go.
Okay.
Let's go, Steph and Colton. You're there on the left of us, and let's just take a quick look at some of your trees.
Steph and Colton first?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's right there.
Sorry, Leica and Matt. I broke protocol and jumped Barb and Jordan. I never should have done that. That was a tactical error on my part. But Stephanie and Colton.
Shame on you, Tim.
I know. I accept it. I accept my shame.
Now, we know you're in the quiet comfort of Aunt Stephanie's house, and we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, which is right behind you.
Yep.
Your coveted 7-foot tree that you looked for quite a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I looked for it, I'd say at least 2 years.
And
I wanted the straight. The straight was really hard to find, and I really wanted one badly. And I wanted 7 feet because I had 2 6-footers, and they just didn't really fill the space as well. And then you get the 8-footers, and they're tilting all over.
yeah,
So it was lucky. I was lucky I found it, and I came from Canada.
Nice.
that's not unusual, is it?
No, I've purchased a few trees that have come down from Canada that I have in my collection. But you know, it's true too that a 7-foot straight needle in good condition is a hard thing to find. A lot of them that you see aren't in great shape. They're tarnished or they've been mishandled. So it looks like you found a really good one.
Yep, I'm happy. I was pleased when I got her.
Very good.
Well, and that came after Colton got his, didn't it?
Yeah, I was a little jealous because his was bigger than mine.
We saw a heavy dose of Evergleam envy coming from Auntie. So
Yep.
tell us about your 7-footer, Colton.
So when I first displayed my trees in downtown Manitowoc, the collector of the group of trees in the public library, Fran, decided that she wanted to give me her first tree for $1.
$1.
So I bought it off her for $5 actually.
She
And
didn't have change.
She didn't have change.
Still, it's ranking right up there with that $20 evergreen.
Right.
Sick deal.
Yeah, envy. Just so much of it. So that tree that you got from Fran for $5 whole is on display at the Shooty building, right next to Auntie's Frosty Fountain.
Yeah, I got a 4-foot frosty fountain in the Shooty building. Yep,
Steph, how many trees do you have?
I have 8.
8.
Nice.
Yep, I have 8, and I'm
Okay,
looking for my next one.
run down the list. Run down the list for us, both of you. I
Are
wanna
they
hear.
all up?
Yeah, mine are all up. I have a 6-foot fountain. That was my first one. It was 94 branches. I have a 40-foot straight that's in the front of my house. I have 2 windows in the front, so I got a 40 branch 4-foot straight there. I have the 4-foot swirl next to it.
Nice.
In my kitchen, I have a deluxe straight, and then I have a fountain. These are all 2-footers in the kitchen. And then upstairs is my first tree, which was the 6-footer. And then I also have a 6-foot, I think it's 43 branch in my bedroom.
So they're all silver.
Yeah, that's the reason I like the trees. One of them because before I got my silver tree, my colors were purple and silver on my Christmas tree. So I'm like, this is perfect.
It is perfect.
Nice.
Now, Stephanie, I don't know the state of your house, but would it be possible for you to grab the phone and for us to see some of your other trees?
Yes.
If it's in disarray, I don't want the world to see that.
It's okay. I'm going to do this because I think I remember how to do it. No problem.
There you go.
I'm good. So I can take you up, and here we go. This is the front of my house. And
Beautiful.
you can see the behind my trees. That's trying to get this right, but on the left, you'll see the straight branch, and on the right is your swirl.
Okay.
What are you using to light them? I'm curious.
I just have some display lights from Menards.
Nice. And that's all you need. That's all you need.
Yep. I can take you to my kitchen if you guys want. I guess.
Well, sure.
Okay, here we go. There's the one that you just saw in my living room.
Oh, wow.
You may get a little look at my dog because she is also around here.
Oh, look.
That one made the calendar that one year.
Yeah, that was a good
That's
picture.
it.
Hmm.
That
One
is
of my-
such a nice setting.
Yep, it is. I have an old house. And then, then we're getting kind of messy, but there is my little fountain.
Oh,
So there
it's
you go.
perfect.
Yep, pretty much. And I have a lot of vintage stuff too.
It all fits.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for taking us on a tour of them.
No problem.
I just wanted to let you know that the person in Ding Dong, Texas is jealous that you have 8 trees. But I bring this up also to let you know that Ding Dong, Texas is a real place. It's between Florence, Texas and Austin, close to Fort Hood. So there
Wow.
we've all learned a little something. I never knew there was a place called Ding Dong, Texas. I love it.
Well,
I'm looking for number 9. I'm looking
Ding
for number
dong.
9.
All right, fair enough.
All right. Colton, what have you got? What's happening at your house?
So my first tree was a 4-foot swirl 31 branch. My second one was a 6-foot frosty fountain 91 branch.
Oh, wow.
Third was a frosty fountain 2-foot 19 branch. Fourth was 19 straight 2-foot tree, and then a 7-foot fountain with 100 branches.
Okay.
And that's the one that's on display downtown, right? Yep.
It's a pretty good sized tree.
Yeah, they take up a lot of room.
Can't get all of them in your bedroom, can you? No.
It's one of the reasons you guys got it, because he's like, I don't know where I'm going to put that tree. I know I'm going to display it.
Yeah, well, every year we take advantage of that kid. So if he can put it on display, we appreciate it. Good job.
Very good. Well, let's continue on with the circuit. Let's dive in with Lenka and Matt and take a look at what they've got on display.
Alrighty. So we will show you at first. This is our Evergleam. Let's see.
Ooh, beautiful.
Very
Thank you. That was actually our 3rd tree. So let me start from the beginning. I have some notes written down. I have some pictures to show you. I don't know how well they'll show, but we'll go for it. So
Only one way to find out.
Yep. So as a child, when I was growing up in Europe, we didn't have silver trees. We didn't have aluminum trees. Everybody had either a real tree, which was very common, or possibly a little fake green tree. Now, my family were very traditional, so we always had a real tree. Now, as a kid watching American movies, of course, once they were allowed, I saw a silver tree. Now, I could not tell you if it was aluminum or not. I was very little. I just remember it on TV, and I was in awe. I just loved it. So ever since then, I wanted a silver tree. And when I was in, I think, 5th grade, we were shopping, Christmas shopping at Tesco, which is, if anyone from Europe is watching, it's a really popular chain. In our country, it used to be called prior to that. Anyway, so here we are, and on the little shelf, there are these tiny silver trees, and I'm going to show you the tree because my sister brought it to me, that one, here in the States. She kind of goes back and forth, so a few years back, she brought this tree for me. So here it is, this little tiny thing.
Oh, look.
So that was my first silver purchase. It was a whopping 100 crowns at the time, which would be about $3.
Oh, wow.
But that was my partial dream, come true. Of course, I did want a larger one. And so let me see my notes here from Matt. Matt grew up here. His grandma actually had a little aluminum tree. So they have
one of those original color wheels.
Yes. So in this picture, you can't see much of the tree, but you can see the boys playing with the color wheel.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
That's a 70s picture. And then I have one on the phone where you can actually see a little more of the tree. Sorry, we're kind of scattered. Some things are printed, some things are digital. Here we go. Yeah, that would be it. That's good. Thanks. It was just there's a lot of glare.
Oh yeah, that's hard to see.
Yeah, there is a lot of glare, unfortunately.
That's okay.
So that would be Matt's experience. And so after that, I moved to the States after high school. What'd you find? Oh, that's
I
better.
just
A
dimmed
little
it.
better. Good.
Look at you.
Wow. Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, wait a
Thank you,
minute.
Gavin.
So, as I mentioned in the at the 1950s museum in Park Forest, they had the green sea sincere tree, and that was my second real tree that I saw in person. So I do have a picture of that if that shows. This would be me in 2014 with the green tree. Thank you. That's all with the phone. And so after that, I really wanted to get my own. Of course, in Chicagoland, they are very pricey. And at the time, honestly, hard to find. That wasn't really as popular as it is these days yet. However, after I moved to Ohio in 2017, we were able to find one the first year, and that's our teeny tiny tree that we will show you at the end. The reception in the back of the house isn't the greatest, so just in case we lose you, that's going to be the last thing we show.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Then in 2018, we were Christmas shopping in a little town called Van Wertz, which is also here in Ohio, and that's where we found the silver forest pine, 6.5-foot tree. For a wonderful $100 we paid for that thing. Original box, original receipt, everything was there. So
Wow.
that was our first larger tree. And come 4th of July, the next summer, I'm doing my favorite thing, scouting Facebook Marketplace for vintage items. And 4-foot Evergleam pops up for $50.
Very nice.
So the seller was about 2 hours away from us, and we just met up halfway. And we just got the tree, set it up on 4th of July. It was pretty neat.
Yep.
And then the pandemic came, so shopping kind of halted. But last year, looking at the Facebook page for the store where we got our 6-footer, I see a little green branch sticking out in one of the pictures. So I messaged them, hey guys, do you happen to have a green aluminum tree? Oh yes, we absolutely do. It wasn't published on their Facebook page or anything, so while nobody knew, we made a way and we went there and we bought the tree. And that's our deluxe green pico, which we will also show you.
Very good.
Very cool.
So that would be our brief history and our trees, and we will show you those trees. And another thing that I would like to show is how we light the trees, because I know sometimes folks ask, what do you do if you don't have a roto wheel? So here, babe, I'll give you this and I'll grab the boxes. I will be right back.
While she is running to grab the boxes, someone asked a question, which I'll just throw out there now. Jamie was wondering, is there still an Evergleam Museum in Park Forest, Illinois? And if anyone knows, does anyone know of its address?
I never even heard of it. Did
I
you?
don't know anything about that. There may have been an aluminum. I know there are some aluminum tree collectors down in that area that may have done some kind of display at some point or had something like that, but I don't know of anything like that currently.
Okay, fair enough. So, Jamie, if you have any more information, pass that along, what you know about the history of it, if not current. Okay, back to you, Lenka.
All right. So the first thing that we purchased is this little kaleidoscope light. We use that for our tiny tree. For our larger trees, and you can get this really anywhere, basically.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. This one is unfortunately discontinued. I believe they might still be manufacturing the smart version of it. The one we have is a remote control lamp.
Okay.
I believe you can still find them on eBay. It works really well for us. And the last one, this one is an eBay purchase also. It would be
Oh, yeah.
this
The
light.
multicolored yard light.
Yeah.
You get all the,
Someone, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, someone recommended this on one of the aluminum tree groups, and we got it, and it also works great. So that would be the lights. And now, if you would like, we can show you the trees.
Yeah, actually, I want to see. So the tree that you just showed us a
Uh-huh.
minute ago, I'm interested to see the decorations you have on it.
Yes.
Mind
Sure.
showing us
All right.
that looks.
We have a laptop, so we'll move really carefully.
I like it. Nice old Santa.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we have, I did bring some boxes here also. We have a couple of jewel brights on here.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it off, please. We have Noel and Pyramid, and we have a box of shiny brights as well. And that box is divided between this tree and the tiny tree. So let me see if I can show any of the boxes. They came prepared.
And that last light that she showed you all, I just attached it to a piece of wood, a 2x4, and put it on the floor and covered it. We cover it with Christmas decorations.
Yeah, to make it a little steadier. All right, so here.
Oh, I think we are losing.
Pyramid. This is our box from Jewel Brights. We have several of these.
It's probably not bright.
Oh, yeah.
I need the light.
Then here's our shiny bright box. This one actually came from the house across the street when the elderly lady was moving away. I managed to get this one, and then we brought a couple of these from Manitowoc this summer.
Oh, nice.
Noel. Yep. So that's
good.
mostly what's on this tree. We do also have some foil ornaments, and then these ones are actually from Menards this year. They came up with them, and we figured they would be
I didn't
perfect.
ask you about those.
And they
Sent
have them
to
in
me,
all different
and-
colors also.
Okay.
And
good.
we do have a tree topper also. We use a very thin wire to tie it to the top of branch, which was already severely damaged from a tree topper, but I think we patched it up pretty okay. Now this tree topper, you can put a light in it, but we don't because we don't want the extra weight, obviously, from the top branch. All right, so now we can show you our main tree as we navigate through the house. You guys see? It's giant. It takes up a major plate.
We go cut it down every year. Cut one of these down every year.
Wow,
It's
it's huge.
huge.
Kaleidoscope Farms in Ohio, and I'll turn the light on now. I just wanted you to see it lit. There we go.
There you go. Oh,
Right up to the ceiling.
look at that.
Yes,
Wow.
and so on this tree, what I would like to share are vintage, well, I should say retro lanterns that came from my home country. Now, this would be somewhat of an equivalent to the silver trees here. These were manufactured in the 1960s through the early 90s at home.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I saw them on somebody's tree. Well, by the time I found out about them, they were no longer manufactured. So as a kid, I always wanted them, couldn't get them. And after I moved to the U.S., there were these two brothers in the Czech Republic that started manufacturing them again. They kind of had the same story as me. They saw them on the tree and could never get them. So they just started making them. And my sister, since she travels back and forth, she brought me a few boxes. Matt and my sister conspired and got these for me. So now we have a few sets on our real tree. Just something I wanted to share. Matt's
Cool.
going to show you.
I'm trying to show the bottom of the tree.
Is that one of the lanterns there?
Yeah,
yes,
right here.
yes, this green one here.
Yeah.
If I have it.
There.
And so that was, as the aluminum trees are to you guys, this is kind of something very special to me. And I was just beside myself when they started, making them, and I was able to bring some here with me. So now we move to our dining room where we keep our 6-foot silver and green trees. Our dining room.
Look at this festive home.
I'll turn the lights on. So
Green.
that is the green tree, Pico,
Very cool.
and there is the silver tree.
That's your silver forest.
Yes. Yep. I have the box here too. I'll show you with the receipts.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Here, Fragile, like Christmas story. And there's
Is it a
the
valuable prize?
yep. For certain
Interesting
ones.
too that
Yeah.
the branding on that is
Yep.
copied from the Evergleam that we saw, the bow that we saw on Jerry's boxes.
Yep.
And on all the Evergleam boxes. Same
Same
look.
thing.
Same look.
Yep.
And then here is the Pico box. This one is a little rougher.
Mhm.
So the light faces it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
5'8" tree.
5.
Very specific.
Yes,
what-
it is, isn't it?
What we do is we do give them a little boost, especially for the silver one in the window, because you couldn't see it much. So
Yeah.
what I do, the resourceful me, I grabbed some of our paint cans that are 1 gallon paint cans, and I just put them under the tree. So
That's
it
what the
gives
white
it-
is down there, the 1 gallon paint can.
Yep, it's standing on top of those, so they get a little boost, but we gave them some nice tree skirts, so you can't really tell.
And there's the color wheel down there, not to cut her off.
The Panasonic Philips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phillips.
Yeah.
And there's another one for the other tree over there, for the green tree. And you can see the color changes as we're standing here.
And we have little clear string lights to give them a little more sparkle. And now we'll take you to see the tiny tree. I apologize if the connection cuts out. Hopefully it doesn't.
Of course, we bought these LED lights so we could change colors depending upon the season. We put in regular light bulbs.
Yep, for the tension pole lamp.
Yeah, for the tension pole lamp.
That's another thing, we love tension pole lamps. So we have quite a few of them. All right, let's see. All right.
Sorry, our cameraman isn't better.
So this room we call this room the 50s room because when I moved in with Matt, I told him
Yeah, it
this
looks
was
like
gonna
we
be
got a disco dance or something.
I'm sorry?
It just looks like a club.
Yeah. So when I moved in with Matt,
Yeah.
yep, that's the little kaleidoscope light. And so let's see.
Yes.
I'll turn the light on so you can see it.
Like John Travolta should be there.
Sorry.
Oh, that's
Can you see it?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And that was also my first vintage radio that it's sitting on top of. But yeah, we call this room a 50s room because when I moved in with Matt, I said, I was just going to decorate this one room as mid-century, and of course it's the whole house now, but that's another story. So
I think so.
we do
Barb
have a
doesn't
couple
know
of
anything about
aluminum.
Neither do I.
No, not at all.
It's just kind of
Hey, there's a guy that wants you to know something. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Mhm.
oh gosh,
Yes.
is that made out of a
We
bleach
do
bottle
have a
in the yard?
couple. This was given to us, but yes, this is
Okay.
all handmade. I also have a little, if you want to point it here, babe, I also have a little handmade tree.
Oh,
Uh,
is it
Cute.
one of those plastic canvas? No. Oh, it is a
It's
quilted
actually
one.
fabric. It's fabric.
Yeah, it's cotton.
Cotton fabric.
Fun.
Yep. And then we have a couple of little aluminum wreaths that are hanging over there on the wall by the tree. And we got those in a little town called Wapakoneta. They have a lovely antique
I
mall
don't know if you
there.
can see that very well, the aluminum wreath
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's
very, very different style aluminum wreath from the
There's
Evergleam
the
Right,
other
wreath
one on the other wall.
Here's on the screen. Wow.
And then he yelled, "Stop!" I don't know how the song goes, but the snowman.
Yep.
And then Jimmy Fallon stopped by and he said, "There's 5 more sleeps to Christmas." Of course, that's not the 20th.
Yep, and so those would be our aluminum trees. We do have one more silver tree, and this one is a fiber optic tree in our kitchen.
Huh?
That was the predecessor to
Okay.
yeah, this one came.
I like those
And that's
little
what
ones.
it looks like.
Oh, magic at night.
Yes.
Excellent.
Isn't that the name of your autobiography, Barb?
What? It does sound like a good title, doesn't it?
Yeah. Barbara Bundy-Jost, Magic at Night.
Yep, and so
I'm just saying.
Well, thank you for taking us on
Yeah,
this little
thank you.
walkabout your home.
Certainly.
Oh,
So
you're
wonderful.
You're welcome.
Um,
We're very happy that we were invited.
Before we run out of time, I did want to circle back to Jerry because Jerry, I saw that you had some photographs and things on your coffee table down there, and I was wondering if we could go back and talk about those a little bit too, because we didn't get a chance to talk about those.
It looked like there was a catalog there.
Well, yeah, you
Did
know,
you want to? Your dad? That's your dad in those photographs?
2 years ago when I was able to meet with you at the library for the show,
Oh,
shared the story about Toy Fair, which I say Toy Fair. In those days, toys and decorations were same markets in New York and the buildings that they were in. And I always told the story about every year they went out there, my dad would book a hotel room with a kitchenette. And one night he would have all the customers. He had people in from Miro because it was a small club, you know, and everybody knew each other. And he would make chili. And everybody would say, okay, we're not going out to the restaurant tonight. We're going to Jerry's room, and there he's making his chili. And I found this picture. I thought you might get a kick out of seeing that.
yes.
Here's the same area. I'm not. Is that Tom Gannon next to him? I'm not sure if that's Tom Gannon.
What's Gannon-ish? I wish we could zoom in.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the guy on his left, on our right,
Are you talking about this guy?
or are you talking about the guy on his right, our left?
On his right.
Yeah, that looks Gannon.
Yeah.
I bet that is.
On his right,
Yeah.
it might be.
So this looks like it would have been like maybe the
It's hard.
early 70s. I'm not sure, but that was always the joke among the people in the business about chili night at Jerry's room. So, and
Chili night in Jerry's room.
yeah, you know, I I shared with you earlier this week, Barb, about this DVD that I found.
Yes.
And I realized when I first saw it, I thought it might have been the he spoke at the Wisconsin Historical Society sometime maybe 10, 12 years ago. And this is actually from the Manitowoc Historical Society, dated January 7th, 2012. And it's interesting because, you know, as it all comes together now, here we saw this was Kate Silver's book. Is that right? Tom Gannon's daughter.
No, that's the book we published.
You published it? Okay.
Yeah.
And right in the beginning,
That's our Mackey book.
okay, right in the beginning is a quote from him, and this goes right from that presentation that the DVD is of January 12th, or January 2012. You know, the story just never seems to end. It keeps staying in everyone's mind, and those trees are more than just trees. It's as if they have a life of their own. They just never go away. So that's on the front page of your booklet here. So
And they don't. I think your dad said he never imagined 60 years later that he'd be celebrating the tree
never.
that he worked to sell.
And here's just another.
Well, and look how captivating they've become at this point. You know, we see them. Of course, Jerry, you've got the family connection. I've got the family connection. You know, you grew up with one.
Yep.
But you know, even Lenka and Matt out in Ohio, and now, you know, Steph and Colton, especially, you know, you being so young and loving these trees, and it transcends geographic borders,
Right.
and
time,
ages and decades.
Age,
Exactly.
culture, it doesn't
and
matter.
So they're just so captivating.
Yeah. Yeah, they are the door to open a lot of history in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, a lot of aluminum manufacturing history. So it's kind of fun to see all these connections. Wow.
And we have some high schools too.
Real quick, we'll get a little. Remember National Tinsel?
Yes.
Here's a package of unopened tinsel from them, and you know, my dad actually worked for them. It wasn't National Tinsel at the time; it was Santa's Best.
Yep.
That was after National.
Yep, exactly. I think they bought them, and well, of course, years ago with the tinsel factory, the Christmas trees, when Tim Martinez bought the building.
Yep.
So that's just a little bit of a extra little plug.
And Matt, that looks like the stuff you have all over your real tree.
National Tinsel.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like when it's in use, in its proper uses. We put together an aluminum tree today. Barb and I put together a Revless tree, a big blue and green 7-foot Revless tree that we're going to be auctioning off on Saturday night at our fundraiser at the Manitowoc Yacht Club. And that thing
And tinsel on
it's
it.
huge and bushy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Revless trees or if you've handled one, but they're very, very full and thick. And that thing had residual tinsel in it. Someone had put tinsel all over that tree. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it's like
why you would
it's like
put,
Steffi putting tinsel on your 7-foot tree.
Yeah.
I have
Never do it.
It's funny that you mentioned that because our silver pine and the peacock tree, they also had some tinsel. The boxes still have some tinsel in them as well.
I also saw, I think it was a 4-foot Evergleam silver that was sprayed with that white foam.
Oh,
like it was flocked?
Nasty.
Like it was flocked.
Flocked. What the flock?
Well, that was a popular thing
Barb,
at that
family
time
show.
in the 1950s. So
Billy,
Flocked.
she
It was a 2-foot tree,
didn't say anything bad.
and I don't know if you can get that off. Would that Dawn super spray do it?
I don't think so. That
You'd almost have
stuff
to
is so
scrape that stuff.
that stuff is so
Oh,
sticky. But yeah, that was a thing at the time, and at least I've been told. I think it was Wes when I talked to him, Wes Martin, one of the engineers. Before he passed away, I had a phone conversation with him, and I think I remember him telling me about Aluminum Specialty experimenting with flocking the Evergleam, and they had a room set up to. Then they had the flocking
blow it?
flocking machine in a room that they had set up for that to experiment with it, and it was just such a nightmare to do it. And it was,
Why would you do that?
it was,
I mean, look at the sparkle. Why
it
would
was,
you?
it was potentially detrimental to the employees' health and everything. So they were like, we're just not going to do this.
Can I share a quick story from you from that DVD of his presentation to the Historical Society?
Sure.
He talks about in later years when the tree was starting to run its course, and they were of course looking for new products and so forth. And it was Wes Martin. That's what made me think about it, Jordan, is that he came into his office one day and says, here's an idea. And this probably, late 60s, early 70s. Talk about being a little bit ahead of your time. He says, what's the word I'm looking for now? The fiber optic.
Oh.
Yep.
And, he said you would have lights, they would change this and that. And my dad was intrigued by this. He says, well, tell me though, what about the cost? That's what it always comes down to. And that was the aluminum tree, getting it down to a manageable cost so that masses could enjoy it. He says, well, that's one problem. He says, right now we've got it estimated it would probably take about $400 to make one of those.
Oh my gosh.
We'll put that on the back burner for now.
Yeah.
And back then, I was just looking at something this afternoon that said that the average family income in the mid 60s, early to mid 60s, was only it was just under $6,000. So
Sure.
that kind of puts things into perspective. If that tree cost, I mean, that was a little bit later, of course, so it would have been a little bit different, but still not too much. That's a big percentage of your annual income for
Like
a
those
tree.
little 2-foot trees. Your dad, if he worked for specialty, paid $2 a piece for them. They charged $1
but
a
if they
foot.
were sales, they
Oh,
were
they
promotional
probably
items,
free.
they were free.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
but someone like my grandmother,
Yeah.
she brought home
Yeah.
a couple of trees, and they would have cost her $1 a foot. So
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's another
Excuse me.
beauty of the Evergleam tree. It was the right thing at the right time. And you think about back to the early 60s, the country was in a bit of a recession, so money was even tighter then. And to be able to take that modern coatings tree that was talking about a retail of $100 and bringing things down to where you could start to buy these at $5, $6 and $10, $12 for 6-12-foot, 6 to 7 foot tree. It was the answer to a lot of people's prayers that now we've got a tree that can really, appeal to people and come at a reasonable cost.
Right.
All right. Before we move on to the second half of our evening tonight with Barb and Jordan giving a tour of the Enchanted Evergleam Forest at the library, I wanted to just get to a couple comments. Angela wanted Leica to know that she decorated her tree beautifully. So that was specifically for Leica. Bob Porter just said, I just found out that Graceland had an Evergleam tree in 1966, and he's trying to find a picture of it.
Wow, Bob.
very cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
If you find the photo, post it for us.
Yeah.
The museum that was referenced is, Kelly wrote in to say, the Park Forest Historical Society 1950s Museum. It's not Evergleam specific, but 1950s Museum. It's at 227 Monee, Monee. There should be an N in their road in Park Forest, Illinois.
Okay.
And
Park
that's
Forest
from,
with
that's
an
from
A.
Kelly Brennan McClure. Hi,
Yeah,
Kelly.
Park
Hi,
Forest.
Kelly.
Park like a park with trees,
Mhm.
which would make a forest. So Park Forest. It all works out. And then just a quick comment that I bought an aluminum tree many years ago at a second-hand shop. I gifted it to my niece several years ago when she couldn't have a real tree in her apartment. She has it up again this year. So
Good taste.
there you
Fabulous.
go. All right. So thank you so much to everyone who came in and participated via the magic of the internet. And I'm going to bid you adieu right now so that Barb and Jordan can take everyone on a tour of the magical aluminum trees that we have at the library. So thank you, Lenka and Matt and Jerry and Stephanie and Colton for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you all.
Thanks
Yes,
for having us.
You're the
bravo.
best.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for being part of the inaugural round the country look at aluminum trees in people's homes. So thank you so much for being here, and have a great night and happy holidays. to you
Happy
all.
Happy
holidays to you
holidays.
too.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
All right.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Barb and Jordan,
There we,
are you ready to switch over?
We're ready.
we
Okay,
can,
so-
we can.
So find Matt, and we should be able to accommodate.
Okay.
Barbara and Jordan.
Yes, we're ready.
Okay, Matt, Max.
Max? Can you hear it?
Yep.
Okay. I can too. Yeah, I'm gonna too. All right. Where should we begin? I know where we should begin. Where's that 1959 box? That's 10 years of STEM. Because we'll start with that one. Let's start with that one first. I tried lifting it, and it's so heavy because instead of aluminum rods, the early tree was made with steel rod. And that is a
Now, I will tell you, handling that rub lift earlier today, this is, while it is heavy, this is heavy, but it is not as cumbersome as rub lift. And so this was
Max,
kind of the
can you
answer to
tell them that their
giant,
volume needs volume needs to be up.
volume needs to be up.
Volume needs to be up. So Max, you have to stay much closer to them
Max.
so that the mic picks them up.
Okay.
Getting my shoulder pads. My grandmother wore this jacket in the 40s. Just an aside, commercial break. All right.
So these were the trees that came out in 1959. Yeah. And this is what the boxes looked like. You can see this cool, our 50th year, the 50th anniversary of aluminum specialty, this little badge down here. And so all of the trees,
1959.
all of the trees that first year looked the same. They all looked much like this tree here. They were all silver, and they were all what we call straight needle trees. So the needle is unadorned, and it comes straight out from the branch rod.
I'll take one out and show. Look at how nice that is.
Yeah. Fran is our collector friend who puts all of her trees on display for the Manitowoc Public Library every year. This year she has, I think, 50 trees in the display for our 10-year anniversary, and she spent hours and hours and hours over this entire last year cleaning her trees. She cleaned every tree that she put on display this year.
Sometimes twice.
Yes.
'Cause
She's
they weren't
been
shiny enough.
She's been using Dawn Power Wash, and that's a question that I often get from people on my tours, people at our presentations at the library and whatnot. So Dawn Power Wash is what she uses. I think she soaks the branches a few times in a bathtub or in a shower, and then rinses them off. I use a different chemical. It's a boat hull cleaning chemical called Starbright, and it's rather caustic, but it's very effective. You only have to do one pass.
Yeah. well, let me
Anyway,
tell you.
back to the tree. So again, this is what the tree looked like. The box looked like in 1959. All the trees were silver. All of the trees were straight needle trees. You could get a 2, 4, 6, or a 7-foot height that first year. And these trees required a little bit of assembly, a little bit more assembly maybe than what you would find in later years and what most people are used to these days when it comes to putting an aluminum tree together. It wasn't just a matter of inserting the branches into the trunk. You actually had to wind the needles around every branch rod in this box. So you were given a little tuft of aluminum fringe, and you were tasked with winding that little strip down to the bottom and affixing it with a piece of tape. And that isn't so much of a problem if you bought a 2-foot tree with 22 branches. But as you can see here, this 6-footer it's not even the biggest tree that they offer, but this one has 94 branches, and they're rather long. They're the length of this box.
That lasted 1 year.
Only
1 year.
Yeah.
Because, well, not only is it a job to take and wind that down, that branch, and attach it 94 to 100 times if you had a bigger tree, but the aluminum was sharp. So you could cut your fingers, and it was not done well by, not everybody was crafty.
No, and not everybody followed the instructions.
They didn't know.
And so many, well, this is one of the issues. So that first year too, you were given storage trays in the bottom of your box that folded out, and they had holes punched in them in a grid. And at the end of the season, you would take your branches and stand them upright in those holes in that grid. And then you were given a polyethylene bag to drape over the whole thing to keep it from getting dusty. And then you had to find a place in your home to store that tray that's standing this tall and this wide, be it in an attic or lug it down to your basement, whatever you could do. And so Aluminum Specialty worked very quickly. For the following year, they came up with a solution to this problem. The storage problem, the craft project problem, the amount of work that it took to put these trees together. And this was the solution. It was the paper tube storage system. And this idea was patented. It was created by Aluminum Specialty engineers, and it was patented by them. And any other aluminum tree producing company that wanted to use the storage system had to pay Aluminum Specialty royalties on that invention. So those other brands that we saw earlier with like Lenka and Matt, they had the Pico, they had the Silver Forest. Those brands, they all had to pay Aluminum Specialty. So they made quite a lot of money off of just the storage system alone.
Right.
But what this did was it allowed Aluminum Specialty to hire a workforce as well to wind the branches in the factory, because once they were wound, you could store them in a small box and ship them out. Then you didn't need to wait to assemble them once they were in the home.
They also had a team of women, mostly women, would come in and work the third shift. They'd put their kiddos to bed, serve them dinner, put them to bed. They'd take a little nap, go to work, and work until 7 o'clock in the morning, and then be home to feed the children breakfast, send them off to school, take a little nap, and do it all again. And that probably went from April until the end of October.
I think it was March to November, and that was exactly what my grandmother did. My mom was born in 1959, so those first years, that's exactly what she was doing. And they, in the summer too, those few summer months, they hire on college kids that came home for the summer.
Ginger did that
for those few months.
So it was well.
Yeah, and it was a good job for them.
Yes, and really, this started out with like a sewing machine. You'd put the rod in there, put some hot glue on there, and then
the machine held a spool of aluminum fringe at the top, and the worker would draw that fringe down to the rod and operate the machine with a foot pedal that would spin the base of that, and they would just have to draw the fringe along the length of the branch and attach it with a piece of tape at the bottom, and you were all set. It was ready to go. It was very fast.
And then they just put it in a tube, put it in the box,
and send it on its way.
And
Barb and Jordan.
Yes.
Quick question. With the paper tubes, how many years was that storage method used? The entire run, right?
Yeah, so from 1960 until 72.
Until the end, yes.
Until the end.
It was used for the entire production line from 1960 until 1972. So the very first year was the only year when that storage tube system was not employed because it had not been invented yet.
But I think they said they made money until the 80s because there might have been other companies using the system. So they had to pay. Okay.
All right, so that was the first major innovation that really made this, marketable to a huge, customer base across the country. And very quickly, they began to make style variations, changes to the tree to make it more widely appealing. and widen the customer base. The first alterations, the first variations on a tree that were created were the colored trees. So those became available that same year in 1960, and there were 4 colors that were offered. You see the pink here, the gold, the green down there on the end, and of course also the blue cross, blue tip tree. And Wes Martin, one of the engineers that worked on the tree when they came up with the idea in 1959, he told me the reason why they did not do an entirely blue Christmas tree was the dyes that were used in the anodization process to color the aluminum. The color blue were significantly more expensive than the dyes that were used for the other 3 colors. So to keep the price point the same across the board for those 3 colored trees, or 4 colored trees, excuse me, they opted to just do a blue tip rather than an entirely blue Christmas tree. I wish they had done an entirely blue tree. That would have been magnificent. But the blue frost is still very unique and very beautiful.
Hard to find.
They're extremely rare. Yeah, I've had a few people ask me this year too. Out of the 4 different colors that were offered by Olympus Specialty, what do I think is the rarest of those colors? And a lot of people think that it's pink. But I will say, in monitoring sales over the last 6 years very closely, I not only look at what's listed for sale on eBay, but also what has sold, things that maybe I've missed. And I would say I've seen more pink trees than almost anything else.
I agree.
Pink and gold come up for sale very often.
Well,
And over the last 6 years, I think I've only seen maybe 3 or 4 blue frost trees, right, total. But then, of course, you have rarities within each color as well, and some sizes of certain colors are more rare than others. An 8-foot green, for instance, I've never seen another one. I've never seen a 7-foot green come up for sale. But how many 6-foot greens have I seen? Probably at least a dozen, if not more. Gold trees, 8-foot is probably the rarest of those, and as rare as maybe some of those green sizes.
The 2-foot green that we saw, that's a rare tree.
That's extremely
That
rare
is
as well.
extremely rare. That's why I wish Jerry lived a little closer. I'd be going over there. Yeah.
So in any case, those were the first style variations that were devised in 1960. And then maybe in about 1960 or 1961, we think, the next variation was devised. And that was what we have here, the 2-dimensional Christmas tree, the peacock tree, as it's known. And this was a creation of, again, Wes Martin. And he was living in a small ranch house at the time. It was his first house. He was a young guy. And he didn't have a lot of square footage. So he said,
I don't want a fat tree. I'd like a flat tree.
Right.
So they drove the holes instead of all the way around the pole on the right and left side, giving you this wonderful peacock tail. And if you look at the 4-foot tree, they did come with a facade, kind of an Art Deco piece of board.
It's foil cardboard.
Yeah, and that was folded to hide not only the pole itself, but the foot of
The stand. It came with a folded piece that was like a diamond shape that was a skirt that went over the tripod stand. Those trees are, well, they came in 3 different sizes. You could get a 4, 6, or a 7-foot. We have a 4 and a 7-foot here. And they also came in not only a silver finish, but also a gold finish. And these trees were, unfortunately, an abysmal failure. And they did not sell well. In fact, probably many of them didn't even leave the city. The idea was just a little bit too out there for the time, and people really didn't get it. It still is weird.
It is, but it's kind of weird, wonderful.
It's quirky and wonderful, yes. But in any case, I think we have the highest concentration of peacock trees here in Manitowoc,
Well,
and that's probably due to, you know, if they made a batch of these, did not get an order for them, you know, to a store, employees may have been offered what was left, and then anything that didn't get taken home was liquidated.
Well, and interesting to note, not a lot of employees were interested in taking anything home.
No.
They made them, they cut their fingers on them, they were tired of them, so I don't think many invested in them. But we do hear stories all the time where somebody dies
And
and
something
in the
is-
attic, you find something that you think is a factory second, but then you find out it is indeed a peacock tree, which is very rare indeed. So that was our space saving item.
Right. And so that was not a great idea. But the following year, 1962, that item number gets reused for a different tree, and basically they went crazy that year in terms of making different variations on the tree. Basically everything else that you see here, all of these different style variations were available new for 1962. So one of the biggest differentiations that we make in the evergreen world is the difference between straight needle tree and what we call the fountain. And many people will call these pom-pom trees, and in fact, there's even a brand of aluminum tree that is called pom-pom. But in the evergreen world, these are called fountain tips, fountain trees, and you see the tips of the branches have this sort of spray at the end of them, and that's formed by wrapping the aluminum fringe around the tip of the branch rod many, many times, and then drawing it down. And the needles are also curled, and that effect is achieved by crimping the needle at a regular interval. Now this style, the fountain style, would become the #1 best-selling style for aluminum specialty for the entire run of the Evergleam line from 59 all the way up until 72.
My grandmother had one, a 4-foot fountain.
4-foot fountain.
She just loved to festoon with different colored balls.
So another variation, so many different variations arise from the fountain style specifically. One of those we have here, this is the swirl, and this is essentially the same thing. It has curled needles, but you see at the tips of the branches, we don't have that fountain spray. So they just wind the aluminum fringe around one time at the tip and then draw it down to the base of the branch. And you have a completely new style, the swirl. Another variation on the fountain is the frosty fountain. We have one of those over here. You see here, it has these fountain style branches, but it has a very different finish. And this was achieved by embossing the aluminum and impressing a modeled pattern into the needle. And you get this sort of icy finish that catches the light in a very different way. So this effect was applied not only to the fountain style tree, but also to a straight needle tree. And we have some of those back here. We have a 6-foot and a 4-foot frosty pine. So these are straight needle trees with that embossed pattern. Those are actually fairly rare trees. They only came in 3 different sizes, 4, 6, and 7-foot height. The frosty fountain was a much more popular tree, and that came in heights from 2 to 8 feet.
Should we go down to?
Sure, let's go down there. Talk about the phone line.
Yeah. Because Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, GLP-1, they're all weight loss. Aluminum Specialty figured out that if we take a 7-foot pole and put a 4-foot or 4-foot tree branch on it, you're going to reduce the diameter of the tree, and they have something called the slim line. So I would say that one's on the Nutrisystem plan. But it is delightful.
Yeah, and of course, using it's another variation of the fountain style tree. And so this was the space-saving option for 1962 that took the place of the peacock as a more narrow option for narrow window displays or small square footage. These came in 3 different heights as well. They came in a 3.5, 5.5 foot swim line, and also the 6.5 foot swim line that we see here.
And I think what's kind of cool about, I think Aluminum Specialty always reuse products, and they also work locally. All the tree poles came from Algoma Dowell Company. All the boxes came from Weyerhaeuser. and all the aluminum is Reynolds. And if the dowel drilling machine broke during the drilling process, instead of getting a 55 branch tree, you might have gotten a 53 or a 52, and they would just stamp out the number 55 on the box and write in a 52. They reused everything.
We're not going to throw that away. Just
Nope, we're
send
not
it
throwing
out.
anything away.
Send it out.
We're reusing.
Right.
We reuse it. Interesting to note, a 5.5 slim will be up for auction at our gala on Saturday night.
Yes.
Very
along,
rare.
Yes, along with that rep list that we were talking about earlier, we do have a 5.5 foot slim line that we're going to be offering up for sale at that auction. So
If people are interested in the gala,
want to make a trip. Sounds like we have a question, maybe.
People are interested in.
If people are interested in the going to the Evergleam Aganza, how can they get tickets for that?
All right, you have to repeat that.
How can they get tickets for the Evergleam Aganza?
Oh, they can get tickets by going to our website, evergleams.org, evergleams plural.org. And there's either an events tab where you can find Evergleam Aganza. I think there's a button right on the front page on the landing page that says buy tickets to our Evergleam Aganza. And you can come out, you can bid on the trees. There's an exclusive trolley tour beforehand. There's hors d'oeuvres. Come dressed in your vintage evening wear. There's a prize for best dress. So it's a fun time.
It's a Rat Pack party.
So while we're back in this area, another variation on the fountain style tree was this tree behind me. And you'll see this is very distinct from many of the other trees that we see here. It has its own very unique silhouette. And Aluminum Specialty not only tried to target the middle portion of the market with the Evergleam tree and making it affordable to the middle class, they also tried to target the to either end of the financial spectrum. And this was the target for the upper echelon. This was a very expensive tree. This is the highest branch count of any Evergleam that was produced for the general market. It's 163 branches, and we call this tree the Silver Supreme. The tree actually, unlike other Evergleam trees that have the same length branch across the entire tree, this tree has branches of different lengths, and there are 9 different lengths actually across the tree. And it's a pain in the neck if you get the branches mixed up because they're only different by about an inch. And if you mix them up in your box, it's the whole thing trying to get them sorted out again. So that was the upper end of the market. They also tried to target the lower end of the market as well by offering a budget model. And the budget model is called the promotional Evergleam. And these promotional trees came in a couple of different styles. One of them we see here, this is a promotional tree. It's a 7-foot. This is a promotional squirrel. And so the way that they cut costs back on these promotional trees was by reducing the number of branches. So a 7-foot like this, I think, has 72 branches, I think, as opposed to a deluxe model that has 100. And to compensate for that and make the tree look a little bit more full, they elongated the needle. So many people often refer to these as long needle trees. And the sales literature tells us that the needles are 33% longer than the typical needle. And these came in a few different styles. So we have the swirl here. We also have a promotional straight needle tree over here. The promotional straight needle trees are rather rare. And this is actually an 8-foot model, 8-foot promo, very hard to find.
Yeah.
And then back here we have a promotional fountain. This is the 3rd style. And you can see the fountain tips on this tree look a little bit bigger than what you'd see on, this frosty fountain here. It has these small fountain tips. One quite a bit wider.
You have to talk about that bow tip.
I was just about to get to that. Yeah. So this was yet another style variation using a curled needle. It's basically a swirl tree that has had these red bows applied to the tips of each branch. And these bows were part of the tree. They were part of the package. This was a style that was marketed by Aluminum Specialty. You could only get the tree with red bows. That was the only color that was offered. but this is a very specific kind of bow. It's not your typical stick-on bow with the card backing that many of us are used to today. These are made of sasheen ribbon. It's a product that was made by the 3M Corporation in Minneapolis, and it's sort of an acetate ribbon. It's a fibrous kind of, maybe one, there you go. It's a fibrous ribbon. It's a really beautiful ribbon if you see it in person. It's no longer manufactured, so if you want to replace your bows, you'll have to track down vintage sasheen ribbon, and red like this is a little bit tricky to find because of course it is the most popular color for gift wrapping. But you'll also have to track down an S72 sasheen bow making machine.
Yes, which you have.
Bows. I do have that machine.
And
And you can buy them on eBay. They're around.
are they? Well,
Yeah,
I've
they're
never.
around. They're not that rare. And then a set of bow pins. So if you look very
Yeah,
closely
right
at
here is
that
the
bow,
bow pin,
you'll see that the bow is held together by a plastic pin. And
and that pin has a little point,
Mhm.
and that screws into a spring
exactly,
that fits on the tip of the branch.
exactly.
How much does a bow making machine cost?
How much for a bow making machine?
I think they're not terribly expensive. You could probably get one. I haven't looked at them recently, so I don't know exactly what they're running for right now, but I think I paid around $120 for mine with a set of bow. It came with a set of bow pins, and an instruction sheet and a couple of bolts of ribbon. So if you hunt around, you should be able to find one, unless they've become so popular now.
Because you're
That,
talking about it.
yeah, because I keep talking about it.
Talking
It's like the
about it.
trees. We shoot ourselves in our feet.
It's
when
this
we
ribbon
talking about
color
this tree.
that is very
Yes,
difficult.
the ribbon, the red ribbon, it's red number 7 is very, very hard to come by. So, but that's the color that you want for a bow tip tree.
And then the springs aren't easy to find either.
No, in fact, I've had to special order springs from, I ordered springs to factory specifications from a Chinese manufacturing company. I gave them the measurements of an original spring because I could not find conical springs from a spring seller in the United States that was already being made.
Right.
There's just nothing like that
No.
because it's a very specific inner diameter and a very specific outer diameter. And the length is also interesting in that it's not a true conical spring. It actually is, it's actually flared at a point in the center and then it
Straightens out?
straightens out. Yeah. But in any case, hard to find. So if you try not to lose your spring, keep track of your spring.
Of course, they have also aluminum specialty partner with, here we have Pyrex. They not only sold the 4-foot tree, but they also sold the ornaments to go with it. And it all came in a convenient box so that all you'd have to do is take the box home, open it up, put together the tree, hang the ornaments. Merry Christmas. They did the same with their sets. They actually sold the tree. They sold the tree turner and the color wheel. So that came as a complete set.
And these items were also being manufactured by Aluminum Specialty. They had a whole line of accessories that they created for the trees, including these motorized color wheels like this one here, the metal dome stand like you see underneath this tree here. There was also a different variation on the rotating stand that had a polystyrene foam cover. I don't think we have one display, unfortunately. But they also came up with another version of the color wheel, what's called the satellite color wheel. This is actually one of my favorite styles of vintage color wheel. It's completely enclosed, so you don't lose any, you don't have no white light spilling out. And also the lens on it is glass. So you do have to be careful with it because they are prone to breaking, but it will not melt in any kind of heat. And it does a great job with color saturation coming
Well,
through.
let's talk about the base.
Oh, yes.
How
the
did they
base-
reuse
the base
that?
Is interesting too. This base was actually a lid off of a kettle that was in the cookware line. So they did not make this object special for this item. The same is true for some of the 2-foot trees that have a plastic disc base. Let's see if I can find one here.
Right there.
Here, you see some of these 2-foot trees have a plastic disc for their stand. And I found recently
It
that
says you can see oven. Do not place an oven, it says.
that's because a visible lid in a cookware line.
Yep.
I found an advertisement for that a few years ago. And prior to that, I had no idea why the base said "do not use an oven." It was
Who
the
would do
weirdest
that?
thing,
Right?
but it makes sense once you know it was a piece used
Right.
for cookware.
You never know. You just never know.
I have
But
a
you
quick
notice-
question from
Oh, quick
Roxanne,
question.
if I may.
From
My
Roxanne.
mom started working for the H.C. Prange Company in about 1963 as a bow machine demonstrator. Is that the year of the bow tree?
1963, Roxanne's mother worked for H.C. Prange and did the bow machine demonstration.
Very cool.
1963, is that the year they started making the bow tip?
1962 was when the boat
62 came out.
Exact same
So
era.
it could be.
Exact same era.
Yeah. How cool is that? Rock on, Roxanne. We also have the Armor Star Christmas ham display. I always bring this up because my father was the butcher, the manager of the meat department at the Piggly Wiggly in Green Bay. If they were getting canned hams from Armor, and if you bought so many, you got a free 2-foot tree, we'd be having a conversation on why these weren't at my home. And same thing with Noma. Noma is a supplier of many lights. This is the same tree as that tree, except it is the same box, but it says Noma instead of Evergleam.
Yes, and you can also, if you look on the back,
Weyerhaeuser.
Weyerhaeuser Company, Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
And of course, we do have a wall display like Jerry had featured in the first half, which we can show over here. And it is simply the branches put into a metal contrivance on the back to hold them, and then pieces of that metal board that they use for the facade of the peacock tree. Those are magical.
They
They're
are.
fun. They're fun. And then, of course, our 10 years of Sparkle, designed by Stephanie and David Carpenter, just for our 10-year anniversary. How fun. And then last but not least,
You want to talk about our 14-foot tree?
absolutely. We were doing something very much like we did tonight. We had a virtual Sparkle talk, and it was during COVID. So everything happened here, and the public was invited to comment like they are doing tonight. And Pat McCoy said, we have a 14-foot Evergleam. And I thought, yeah, sure you do. And it turns out they did. This is a special order tree. It is 14 feet tall. It was made for the Western Auto Show as a sample because the Western Auto dealers were going to be selling 4-foot fountains, or they were encouraged to buy 4-foot fountains for their shops during the winter. And Pat McCoy and Beth McCoy's dad said, how much was the tree, the display tree? And they said $500. And he said, you know, this must have been 62.
Yeah,
Too
around.
rich for my blood. And he went home, opened his business like usual. A couple of weeks later, he got a call from the rep and it said, would you like the tree for $50? Turns out that Mr. McCoy had the only business that had a ceiling tall enough for this 14-foot tree. And they put it up every year until he died, pretty much. And they called. We found out that it was indeed a special order for Western Auto. And after COVID was over, I think it must have been about 2 years.
Yeah,
We
it was-
accepted the tree and they brought it here in their Prius.
They did. It was great. It just fit in the back of that car. They
Wait.
brought a whole set of vintage unbreakable ornaments.
This
Big
is their mom next
big
to the tree.
plastic red balls.
So
that
we
came
still
with
have
it.
those.
We do still have those, yes.
So many thanks to the McCoys, because this is spectacular. So these are the things we try to preserve as the stewards of the aluminum history of Manitowoc. And the tree is our doorway to that history.
Indeed.
And that is why we are here. And we are so appreciative for all the people who visited us tonight and for the work we do at the Manitowoc Public Library. It was great fun.
Well, is there anything else that we want to talk about?
We did a pretty good job.
I think we did.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, are there any other questions out there, Tim?
There are no questions currently.
No questions.
So, any parting remarks from Barb and Jordan?
Any party, go to evergleams.org. We encourage you to become a member. We have great t-shirts for new members. We also have many activities going on. Anything you can do to help support our cause is greatly appreciated. And we cordially invite you to come and visit, like many people do. Our Steve Steer, our steer, is usually here working on a branch and loves to talk to people. So please join us. And we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
I'm also offering tours through the new year. So we've got walking tours still going every Friday through the new year, as long as the displays are up. And I'm also offering private walking tours this year. So if Friday night times don't work for you, you are welcome to book a private walking tour. I work with you in terms of scheduling, and we can come up with a time that works best for everybody. And I can lead you throughout downtown and show you all the different trees and the styles and the stories. Those are, of course, bookable through evergleams.org, just like our Evergleam Aganza ticket. So,
You'll love it. Go there.
indeed.
Barb?
Thanks so much.
Barb, since you can hear me, and Jordan can't hear me, correct? Am I correct in thinking Jordan can't hear me? Jordan? Hello? Oh, okay. Let's bring you. Oh, I will bring you back. I'm going to keep the tree cam. I'm keeping both cameras going. The tree cam's going, and the Barb and Jordan camera is going. Just a couple of things before we say goodnight. It started with the showing of the 14-foot tree and Adam Aluminum Tree Exhibit. OMG, how amazing, followed by wow instantly. Adam again, we are jealous. And then as you were saying goodnight to everyone, Carrie, this has been fabulous. Thank you. And someone, Roxanne, is really motivated to come and see the trees in person.
Come visit, Roxanne.
Come on, Roxanne.
It's an amazing thing, and it makes these dark days of winter spectacular. You forget how dark it is. It's the best time to be in Manitowoc in winter. It's absolutely beautiful. And like you brought up, the extra sparkle of the trees this year. It's just amazing what a job Fran did with her Dawn Superwash or whatever it is called. I mean, the trees look amazing. And perhaps one of the nicest things we got was from Pat McCoy. Thank you, Barb, for honoring our 14-foot tree and our mother.
That's great.
And thank you, Pat. Yeah.
Pat, you and Beth are cordially invited to come back anytime.
We'd
Get
love
in
to
the
see you
Prius.
again.
Yes.
We miss you.
Yes.
Hop in the Prius. Gas is pretty low.
hop in the Prius.
Gas is cheap in Wisconsin. I remember when they first pulled up, and I couldn't believe a 14-foot tree wound up here in a Prius. And I drive a Prius. I'm not being, weird
And
about
they were out and about. They were traveling beyond here. They were going places. I don't know how they packed their luggage in that vehicle, but they did.
They were going beyond Manitowoc?
Yes, they went. They went north.
They did a whole road trip.
They did over.
Wow.
They had to go back to Kansas. So
That's amazing. And again, a new Ashley. Thank you. Wait. Ashley says that this was fabulous. And I think this sums it up, Karen. That's the most amazing tree I've ever seen.
She's.
Have you come and seen it in
Behind
person?
it.
Because when you see it in person, it is really breathtaking.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful.
It stops people in their tracks. It doesn't matter if it's a 2-year-old on a mission to get to the kids department or a senior walking into the library to read papers. It stops people just to take a look. And that's great. Slows everyone down. Enjoy life. Well, you guys, I was wrong. Jordan, Jordan and Barb, this is the $24,000 question.
Okay.
What would the 14-foot tree be worth?
Wow.
It's so hard to say because it is truly one of a kind tree. So there's nothing to compare it to. And, you know, custom corporate models never come up for sale on the secondary market. So they're
priceless.
It really is. It really is. It's priceless.
It's found home. So it's staying put.
And that's why people should considering helping to fund a permanent Wacky museum to celebrate all things Manitowoc that are aluminum.
There was, I don't know what those boys were drinking during lunch when they were at Aluminum Specialty. They were down near the river, the water.
It was Jerry's chili.
It was Jerry's chili. But
chili can change the world.
Right. Very creative. And I mean, they must have been just having a great time saying, what about this? What about that? And they have the freedom to do that. So I think they are indicative of many of the companies in Manitowoc. We've got some great creative efforts that were happening during that 1950s to 1970s time period that we would really like to showcase someday in a permanent museum, a brick and mortar museum.
Yeah.
And so we're working toward that. I know it will take some time, but we have some other ideas for mobility and just getting our idea out there. You know, if anybody's got an Airstream out there they want to get rid of, I think an Airstream. Think of that aluminum contrivance carrying trees and great manufacturing items.
Taking Manitowoc on the road.
On the road again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's any chance the McCoy sisters have an Airstream trailer they haven't
No,
told
but I
you
bet
about?
they have a great fun time pulling it with us.
Anything's possible.
Come on,
and yeah,
girls.
maybe they could pull it with the Prius.
So if anyone has an Airstream trailer that they want turned into a mobile museum, get in touch with Barb or Jordan or Tim at the library, and I will tell Barb and Jordan.
Thank you very much. We have ideas.
You have a lot of ideas, and they're all pretty amazing. You know, and I've said this before about one of the, I've said it a lot of times, the idea for the tree, to do it the way they did, you know, and reduce the price, but to create a tree that was so easily stored and so affordable, and coming up with it looking like an actual tree by just changing the angle and the depths of the holes in the dowel is one of the most simple, elegant solutions that I've ever heard of.
Richard Thompson said it's simple physics. Just by changing that hole's angle, you can use the same branch, and think what that saves in manufacturing and cost.
Oh, yeah. But no one did it until they did it. And that's the amazing thing. You know, this little town on Lake Michigan came up with a lot of innovations that are just incredible. From these trees to the subs to the ice machines to, you know, I mean, it's just, it's amazing when you think about what our industrial heritage is. And that's why it's like really so wonderful that we can have this display of the Evergleams at the library, because it really is a complete snapshot of what can be done and what's great about industry when it also has sort of a beautiful design involved with it.
Well, and you know, it represents home. We're both born and raised here.
Yep.
And you're from here. It's so wonderful to know some history of where we came from and what it means to people all over the country. And people come from all over. I think the majority of the people on the walking tours are from out of town.
Yeah, I think I've been saying it might be around 70% of our total ticket sales are from
that are
outside of the state. I
Right.
mean, it's probably 80 to 85% are outside of the county, and then a majority outside of the state. So it's a huge number of people that this is drawing from all over the country. And I mean, I have walking tours. I have a walking tour next week. I think 3 people are coming from San Antonio. I just had a guy from Pasadena. We had those girls from Satellite Beach,
Right.
Florida.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
we have people from Nebraska and Ohio and Indiana and
Well,
everywhere.
we have 4 people who traveled from Ohio. They traveled all night, got here at 3:00 in the morning, and took a trolley tour last Saturday. I mean, and they were delightful. They had all
They were
all had
decked out.
They were decked out with
out.
trees on their
Yeah.
sweatshirts.
Oh yeah.
But once you come here and you see this delightful community that is nestled both on the lake and the river, and see what we do here for the holiday, I don't think you'll see anything that
There's nowhere else like it.
compares. There is nowhere else like it. It's
No.
just a magic spot.
Well, I mean, and within spitting distance, you have a World War II submarine in the river and these
Mhm.
trees on display at the library.
You bet.
It's crazy. Oh, you know what? We could we should also, before we say goodnight, because we're closing in on our time, breaking news about the exhibit itself, correct?
Yes, tell, Tim, tell.
Well, you're on camera. You really should tell.
Well, this exhibit was supposed to end January 4th, but by popular demand, we're going an extra week.
Oh my goodness!
That's
I think
true.
like the 11th?
The 11th till close on Sunday at 4 p.m. The trees are on display. The trees and everything in the library that Jordan and Barb and their crew has put up is going to be on display an extra week until the 11th of January at 4 p.m. So if you thought you didn't have time to make it, now you have an extra week to make it.
You have an extra week to make it. Make sure you get here. And this is just a great place to be. And it goes beyond the first floor. We do have more trees on the second floor right outside the children's section. We feature a Miro tree, and then we do get those evergreen trees that were created because, was it Wes Martin's? No, Tom
Gannon, supposedly
daughters.
the 2 daughters. One of them loved the aluminum tree, and one of them hated
Did
it.
not.
And so he worked to. The story goes he worked to create a lifelike
evergreen.
artificial tree, and that's how the evergreen was born. And there are just as many style variations of evergreen, I think, as there are evergleam trees. We saw just one of those. Jerry showed us earlier, but there are so many others, and so many other cool products like we're seeing right now with Max showing us the wall decoration. There's so much stuff out there that I'm sure we haven't even discovered
You
yet.
bet.
We find something
Yeah.
new every year.
Every year there's something new.
And so there's always something new
Right.
with Evergleams on 8th, because we're always finding new stuff
It's
Yeah.
really hidden right
in
here.
attics and basements.
And honestly, the job that you guys do on the storefronts and setting a real unique atmosphere for every storefront is spectacular. I don't tire of it ever, honestly. So if you're just sitting around in Ding Dong, Texas, and you were saying to yourself, I don't have time to get to Manitowoc, Wisconsin, hop in the car. You got an extra week to get here.
You do.
We'd love to see you. And if you would,
Dang, ding dong.
if you
Right.
decide to make the unhinged decision to drive up to Manitowoc, please ask at the front desk to see Tim.
Yeah.
And I'll get these 2 here, because who wouldn't want to meet someone from Ding Dong, Texas? I'm just going to say it flat out. I would love to.
If you if you make it to town, let us know. We'll take you for a drink to the courthouse pub.
You
we
bet.
want to meet you.
You bet.
Oh, a question, not from Ding Dong, Texas, but I agree with what you said. Karen wanted to know, where did the trees go next to display? I mean, it would be at Mid-Mod, right? I mean, that's the next.
Next display?
Yeah.
It probably we're going to be taking the summer off this coming year.
Oh, okay.
So the next time they will all be on display like this again will be next year's Evergleams on 8th exhibition.
So now that extra week really is portentous.
It is important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're close enough to get here, it's worth the trip.
It is totally worth it.
I can say that even without a second's pause. It is worth the trip coming to see the fantastic trees and the fantastic job that these Maki folks do is absolutely amazing.
Oh, look, there's Jerry.
Here's Jerry and Tom on the tree cam.
And thank you, Max, for
Yes, Max.
for
Nicely
for
done.
for filling in on this crazy adventure tonight. Since I'm running the control room, since I'm your cruise director, Tim Kaczynski. But I think we'll sign off for this year's edition. Please come and see us by the 11th if you can. Barb and Jordan, any parting words before I play us off?
Well, I just want to say thank you all for joining us tonight. We love to share.
Absolutely.
We love to share this aspect of our local history and our passions and our own personal
Stories.
relationship to it,
Right.
and all the people that shared their stories and their trees tonight. I'm looking forward to next year already.
I
and
agree.
doing this again.
I
and
agree.
Maybe doing this program with another wider group of people.
I think we're going to meet
So-
more people that would be interested in
I love it. The wider and if you're watching, if you're in another country even, and you happen to be watching this,
Yes.
we can send you a link. I'd love it if we had people showing off their aluminum trees from a completely different country. That would be wonderful.
We do have conversations. When you find the aluminum family of
Yeah.
tree collectors,
Yep.
the conversations are rich, interesting, and just make people stop and stare.
Well,
for a
it's
while.
like
They just go,
it's
"What?"
like any passion, it's like any hobby, any collector. You get a group of them together and they start talking about item numbers and
Yeah.
they start talking about branch styles and they start, whatever it is. Car collectors do the same thing. People that
Absolutely.
watch birds do the same thing. People
Yes.
that, whatever it is.
Whatever they collect,
Right.
everything.
So
They do it.
we're a little weird. It is aluminum, aluminum Christmas
Well,
trees are a little
and-
bit niche, but it's
Every niche
we have a local,
is a little weird.
It's a local tie. It's a family tie.
It's got
There's a
all
reason.
kinds of-
There's a
yeah.
reason for it.
Who knew
But there's
that
there's
something-
also a reason why everything niche becomes collectible and people find passion in niches. When I worked for the poster auction house in New York, same exact thing. And I wasn't even aware that people collected vintage and antique posters when I started working there.
Wow.
And then just to see how passionate people are about it, it's easy to get caught up in it.
Mm-hmm.
And as
When
much
you
as
see
I
it-
love posters,
Right.
they don't draw. I mean, they're great, but these trees really draw you in.
Well, and I think when you see a forest of them,
well,
it
yes,
makes
That's
the,
really captivating.
that is the
When you
captivation
see
point.
a forest of them and you see all of the different variations that were
Yeah.
available, all of the different permutations on the design, and how just how scarce some of them are,
Yeah.
and that chasing that beauty,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
what makes it fun. So
I'm pretty
easy-
I'm
it's
pretty
easy why
fortunate.
people get caught up in it.
Oh yeah. Well, when you see the forest, and I guess I'm fortunate in that the forest is what it has been my primary exposure to it. So
Mm-hmm.
I went about it the right way.
You did.
Well, and I have to
Well,
say
I was lucky enough.
the library has been a wonderful partner. Where else could we find a space with such beautiful window coverage? It is a spot where all people can go and visit from 9 in the morning and until 8 at night most days. It gives us a public viewing like no other, and we get to
Yeah,
do
we're
fun
really
things like
we're really
this.
lucky that you guys offer the space
Yeah.
to us like this.
Yeah.
Every year.
Every year.
And so you guys are our biggest supporters, and we want to say thank you. Big thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Bumps
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you. I mean, in my opinion, I can't speak for everyone's, but in my opinion, it's just an absolute no-brainer
Yep.
because it's a celebration of local culture. It's a celebration of local ingenuity. It's a celebration of local history, local manufacturing, and all of it coming full circle with pop culture
Yes.
Mhm.
in about a 70-year time span. It has gone from people finding trees in dumpsters and, just throw out in destitute spots, like just left nowhere, to now my goodness, the prices they're fetching on online auctions and in person. You know, I mean, it's crazy.
They're-
Some
So
of the trees you have to take a second mortgage on.
they've really gone from trash to treasure. I
Yes,
mean,
they
they're
have.
truly coveted treasures
Yep.
today. I mean, when you're talking about some of these trees selling for $12,000 or more
Or
in
more.
some cases, and it's wild to think that some of these things, the exact same trees, were just thrown away,
yeah,
And they were.
and they were.
And they were.
That's not an exaggeration. They
No.
were truly
yeah,
thrown out by the thousands.
And then there are people like us that go out, and if one needle is left on the ground, you pick it up and you put it in your pocket and you save it.
Yep.
Which I have two big Ziploc. Fran, who owns this collection, gave me 2-gallon Ziploc bags just full of needles, aluminum needles.
souvenirs.
Sometimes I'll go into stores like at other times of the year, like in July or something,
And
and
you'll find one.
I'll notice in our where we put the trees in the windows every year, I'll see maybe a needle or two that got left behind. They just sit out there. The remnants are out there.
Well,
Oh,
let's be honest. It's so much easier to put a tree in your house than a submarine.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I don't have the room for a submarine, personally.
I don't think I have the cash for a submarine, honestly. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe people are just throwing them away. That's all I'm saying is look for a throwaway submarine.
maybe that could be our mobile museum.
A submarine?
Like an underwater.
No, I need more. I need to be
A
above.
mobile underwater aluminum tree museum.
I prefer.
Thank you, Thank you, Captain Nemo. Okay, on that very positive note, I'm going to say we can't get any wiser, so we may as well say goodnight for the evening. Thank you, Barb and Jordan. Thank you, Max.
Thanks,
Thank
Tim.
you, everyone who was on the panel.
Yep.
Fantastic evening, and we're wrapping it up by 7. Have a
Merry
good rest of your night, everyone. Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate, go all out, because it seems like the right thing to do.
We did.
Yeah.
Exactly. Have a
May
great night.
holidays sparkle.
Exactly. Bask in the sparkle. Have a great night, you guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tim.